Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Back Yourself podcast. It is my pleasure, as always, your host Hussein, to bring you the Back Yourself podcast, previewing round 27 of the NRL. Yes, the season is coming to an end, and this will be the last time we get the pleasure of previewing 9 of these teams. Obviously, they'll be set to the wayside 5 days from now. Come the review, we will have our moments where we send these teams off in the fashion that they deserve. But we'll keep it strictly business for this round. Very exciting week ahead. A lot of fucking speculation, player movement, and there has been a change of the fixtures where the Super Bowl is now playing at 7:30 p.m. come Saturday night, according to one of the coaches based in Belmore. With great pleasure, it brings my brother from another mother to the set. Christopher, welcome to the podcast, mate. How are you feeling? Are you as hyped as me to farewell some of these sides who have been playing awful for a long time?
Yeah, well, I'm sure they already packed their bags, got their tickets ready for at least Monday to get to Bali or Fiji or wherever these cunts go. But
there's no accommodation left. Cowboys booked it out.
Yeah, apparently, because they're already there. They're waiting. Drew Quarter's like, where are you boys at? But it will be... I thought this round... I was much more hyped going at the end of round 26 review for round 27. Based on lineups today, definitely not as hyped. Bit shit, to be honest. Because like, why is everyone trying? Why is like the league come to, this is fucking the Super Bowl this week? Like, who gives a fuck?
It's all at the hands of Penrith, directly or indirectly. Think about the pricks going out there trying when they have nothing to play for.
You know what's interesting?
Warriors,
yeah,
which they might actually have something to play for. Sneak peek. Penrith, Bulldogs, all from the lineage of fucking Ivan Cleary going out there trying for
no. What's interesting is Penrith had the disadvantage by resting last week, and you cunts gave them an advantage by not resting this week.
Yeah.
The dumbest cunts. Like,
Anyway.
It's just stupidity.
We can call them out individually. Obviously, I should be getting paid overtime for the amount of fucking ins and outs I'm going to have to do this round. But as I said, could have been a lot worse if the Super Bowl wasn't playing on Saturday. But it is. But before that, we have to go to the age-old rivalry where one side wins 97% of the time. And it's the Melbourne Storm. Shout out to JB, shout out to Jeremy, looking to bounce back after... How could they lose that game to Roosters, bro? Resting half their team, taking on my All Blacks. And I'm not an All Black today because the only black that we'll be wearing is the funeral of the Broncos' top 4 hopes. Jesse Arthurs has been recalled onto the wing, so Dean Mariner pushes into the centre as Gemet Shibasaki has been stood down after a breach of Broncos team standards.
I told you, he's not
Adam Reynolds goes down, and now they have standards. The fucks. Brendan Puker has been named to start in the back row with Jaden Hunt on the bench in his straight swap from last week.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, God. Star halfback Jerome Hughes conveniently returns from a shoulder injury, while Xavier Coates, Eli Katoa, Nick Meaney, Josh King are all back after being rested. Kamakamika returns from a concussion on the bench, while Jack Howarth is listed among the reserves to potentially come in and start trying as well. Utoi Kamanu is being rested after a tumultuous year where he put so much effort into Origin that he needed a round off. Sean Bloor also has suffered a larynx injury, fracture, so he's out as well. Lasati comes into the starting side to destroy Broncos. A spread of 2.5. Shout out to Back Yourself Premium getting this Melbourne at $1.97. A few nights ago, obviously we came on the preview and said the review of last round and said we expect Melbourne to go out there essentially full strength, which they are very close to it. How do you see this one with the Broncos playing for a top 4 spot and the Melbourne playing to play themselves back into form after what Nwanga Nituase did to them in the last 40 minutes?
Is that it? 2.5. I mean, this is hypothetically saying with Reynolds, who I know is a non-factor for you, but for the bookies as a factor, and Mam as a back, Mam being there, Broncos would be pick 'em, if not better, than full strength Melbourne.
Yeah.
Without Grant.
Do you think that somewhat baked into the price is the fact that Broncos have motivation to make the top 4 and Melbourne are playing for shits and gigs?
I don't think...
Because Harry Grant's out.
I don't think that matters in this particular scenario after what happened last week.
Okay, but as far as what the bookies have done.
That's obviously... And I think that's happened through... Except the next game. Most of the round, right? Motivation supersedes... Which doesn't make sense in one of the games. But motivation should supersede team playing for shits and gigs.
Okay.
Melbourne will play for shits and gigs. Now... The beauty of Melbourne is 90% of the time we come on the podcast and say they try for 10 minutes, which is absolutely, and this is what the truest statement we've said all year. I mean, I can see them playing for 80 minutes in this game. And God help Brisbane on the other side. Because what Bellamy was saying in that press conference was like his team had lost a Super Bowl. And he literally lost to Roosters. Who gives a fuck that they were going to finish second anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, I think he wants to set a standard. And Brisbane is one of those cases that, you know, on Brisbane's day, I've been one to say it. They can score a lot of points and really get up and just keep scoring and you can't catch them. Yeah, like... I can't see any other way than just taking Melbourne in this game. Even at 2, 3, 4, 5, I would lay up to 6. I would lay up to 6 in this game. Without Grant, there's obviously that little through the middle of the park. They have Haas and Carrigan and no Grant. Like, there's always that, but the halves are there, Pappy's there. It's too much for these cunts to handle. And truly, Brisbane defensively, even last week, were absolutely awful to that Cowboys team. So... I just don't think he'll get any better against a star lineup Melbourne team. So, Premium's obviously got it at a better price. I said this earlier today that a lot of prices would shift. They didn't, but that was one of them that did. A lot of this time, Melbourne were underdogs throughout the week before this came out, and eventually now they're 2-point favourites, and probably 3, if not 4, come game day. So, take them now or just forever hold your silence as Hughes will put 50 on these cunts for no reason.
Wrong place, wrong time, wrong opposition.
Cunts aren't good.
I'm sorry, Broncos. Like, you actually should be annoyed by what Roosters did because they've essentially cost you cunts a top 4 spot. If the Roosters just came out and gave up in the second half, maybe Melbourne would still be clubbing for Bellamy's 600th game, and then who knows, they might have rested more players. It could have been Hughes fucking by himself out there, but this is a team that demands excellence from themselves. Even though we don't demand excellence from them, we know, like, they're human. They apparently don't know they're human. And the only thing that I want to reiterate, because it's actually a very important point from you, Chris, we're going to get 80 minutes of trying from these cunts on Thursday, aren't you? For the first time of the season, knowing that Bulldogs are coming around the corner to, again, be obliterated into existence, they need to warm up by the appetizer of destroying Broncos in round 27 for the 900th time. Honestly, if you're taking Brisbane, like, I don't know, you're a very fucking gutsy person, because what is coming from the Melbourne side, and
it's scary.
Okay, let's say that hypothetically we know exactly what we're going to get from Melbourne. They are down a few forwards, which I don't give a shit about. Harry Grant's not there, which probably would see them as 6-point favourites. You're laying 2.5 with them in a game that has questionable motivation. Hughes hasn't been there a while. Will they be able to... I know it's really hard, but will they be able to reintegrate a Dally M medalist back in the lineup? We'll see. So we know what we're getting from Melbourne. On the other side of things, Brisbane... If you consider at the pinnacle of what Brisbane can be, and Mann was playing, and Reynolds was not playing, which he isn't, would I potentially make a case for you the same way I made a case for you when you went to Melbourne as 6-point dogs? That was a very different situation where I thought Brisbane was being somewhat slept on, and Melbourne was just like had no reason to try. But this is very different circumstance, as I said. The fact that Melbourne intentionally rested last week, didn't get the response they wanted from their troops in a milestone game. You already know, like, the video fucking footage review this round, the intensity, the finals around the corner from Bellamy. I feel like Melbourne are going to go to a gear that Brisbane just don't have in them. On the Brisbane side, you can't literally being short out wide to a 12-man Cowboys team is that's not the kind of defensive form that you want to take into this sort of contest. And as I mentioned, Walsh has been absolutely lighting the league on fire, but the league in this instance has been fucking Knights, Cowboys and Titans. And,
but that doesn't count. And
Souths, who, again, they're in Bali right now, but they've been there for a little while until they woke up in the middle. So, do I think you can just peg the ball at fucking Mariner and run 700 metres to score every other set against an angry Melbourne team? No. And from what I've seen from you cunts, I know you can't defend them for fucking shit when they actually get the ball down on your 10-metre line. So, this is Melbourne... like hammer spot. I like the fact that we got them as underdogs. Now they're favourites, but as you said, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up until 7. Like I think Brisbane are fucking.
Yeah.
They're going to somewhat be exposed. Of you had a nice little like fairy tale run against the dirt of the sport, but you're not like Freddie. Shout out to him, the former great New South Wales coach. He did his playoff bracket of what he thinks will happen in the semis. Already conveniently penciled Brisbane into 4th, And he's like, oh, they're going to go and beat Raiders, and then they're going to beat fucking Penrith in the prelim, and they're going to be in the grand final. I'm like, are you fucking insane?
What the fuck? Why?
So it's takes like these that I'm like, all right, we've had our fun with Brisbane when people thought, oh, Reynolds is out. How can they function as a club?
But they played Knights and they played Titans.
They
and played
very
Cowboys.
conveniently played Knights 10 times. Now that they're playing Melbourne, I'm sorry, boys.
Well, they could still make it, right, if everyone loses.
Hilariously, yeah.
But
Which
it can happen.
In Brisbane's fortune, like Warriors, which we'll get to them, are $2.60 to win, so that's no sure thing. And now that Dogs are trying, even maybe the best Cronulla side, which we saw in round 5, they might also lose. So there's actually a case where all three of these morons lose and Brisbane end up in the 4 anyway. But I feel like rugby league is too much of a funny sport for it to break down that way. Some idiot will win. Will it be Brisbane? I think fuck no. And that's just my thought.
Yeah, I don't think they'll win either. The next one on the other end.
Moving on to the Waz in their final regular season game, pretty much running out the whole squad. I believe there's only one change to the lineup that
you don't want to
valiantly went down to the might of the Parramatta Eels, which sees Sam Healy taking over at hooker for Wade Egan, who's out with a hip injury.
Oh my God.
That's literally the only straight swap in this game. On the Manly side of things, Tolu Collins out brings Fulalo into the starting side at centre, while young gun Joey Walsh gets his first taste of NRL action coming off the bench. Titans legend Aaron Schwab moves to 18th man. Will he be called into the game again? Possibly so. The Waz are 5-point underdogs, $2.60 on the money line in what will be Daly Cherry Evans' last game in a Manly jersey at a packed-out 4 Pines Park at 6 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. Will you want to get into bed on Cherry Evans' farewell fixture?
I didn't look. This is going to flip your head. Is that it? I didn't realize Egan was out.
Egan is out.
They're awful without him. Like, he might be... look, this is going to be exaggeration because he's not. The pound-for-pound most important player of Warriors.
Yeah, but that's probably true.
Outside of Metcalf and obviously Barnett, who are not there. They are atrocious without him. Like, the middle of the park will look like Manly. That's how bad they are through the middle. And I actually sat here and just before this, I was saying, that is the best price I've ever seen on Warriors. I actually want to consider not doing down the wires this week because I genuinely think they're going to win. But now that I know Egan's out, I'm taking Manly. Nah. I've had enough. And Warriors, you cunts know this for sure. You cunts literally copped a 24-0 run to the team coming last as soon as he went off last time.
Yeah.
I'm good. Look, if you don't have your punch through the middle of the park, which is your asset in this game, you cunts are fucked. Because Manly, even though they've got like some shit outside backs, with Cola and Garrick being out, they still have enough. And what's brilliant about Manly is they can score. And Warriors, like, offensively are just not going to score that many points. And we know that already. So if Manly run up the score to like 30, 36, I don't think you cunts can catch them regardless of how bad Manly's defense is. So now that I've been in light of this new information, I'm good. I'll happily take it down the wires. These cunts are fucked. I don't even realize why they're even trying at this point. Fucking give up. Why don't we talk? We want to talk about the Super Bowl. Why are these cunts giving Penrith the free fucking week off? They play this week to dismantle Dragons and then have to fly down to New Zealand.
Well, they're trying not to give them that because they're trying to...
They're trying to do the wrong thing because their fucking main player is out.
Well, by trying, even if they don't get a 4 spot, they kind of actually are avoiding Penrith. So they're kind of trying to play Roosters.
Yeah, but that's not possible.
Why?
Because if everyone loses, they come 7th.
No, but what
or
if...
6th, I mean.
What if, like, I don't know, Sharks win and Broncos lose? Or Broncos
doesn't
win and
matter.
Sharks
Their
lose?
Broncos are still in front of them. And while Sharks are still in front of them. So it's fucking dumb as shit.
If Sharks lose and Warriors win, they'll...
No, but Warriors have to win.
That's what I'm saying.
And they don't have Metcalf, Barnett, and Egan.
Okay.
That is dumb.
Egan or no Egan, this is mind-blowing price of the round that no one's going to talk about or even blink twice to look at. Manly at $1.50. Fuck no. And this isn't Manly with Garrick and Cola either. You're playing like degenerate centers and you're going out and laying a converted try with Manly. No way in the world. This Warriors team, don't get me wrong, they're no world beaters, but they have a very specific problem in their fucking lineup, and that's scoring points. And they are playing the one team that will actually allow them to score points in the situation that they can actually score points in. You're fucking playing a forward pack with Ben Trebojevic, Jazz Tavanga, whoever the fuck's playing hooker for these morons, which I think is Simpkin at this point. Taukei'aho at 55 years old, and you're bringing on like even bigger Matt Lodge, who literally gets probably less pay than me. That's saying something. For that to be occurring, and you guys are still running out Fisher Harris, Niokore, Halasima, Capewell, there's a very definitive advantage in the forwards where last week what I was a little bit worried about, even though they actually won the forwards to a much better forward pack than Manly's, was Para are somewhat resilient and won't allow them to just walk up the middle of the park. And the only really thing that has allowed Manly to win the games in the last 2 weeks is they have played two of the biggest quit job fucking defensive sides in the history of the sport. Dragons mentally were in another stratosphere, and for what Dolphins were running out there, they also gave up. So that was with Kohler. I can't fucking take Manly at $1.50. Truly, I would have this game at a pick'em, and then that's when you could entertain me into being like Manly at fucking Daly's last game, whatever. But I think you're getting the better side in the better motivation spot, and the fact that they're running out essentially everybody except Egan, I cannot believe they're $2.50.
No.
That's fucking wild.
No, but this is not everyone by Egan. That's the problem. And the other issue is if Brisbane win, these cunts are going to give up.
They're not though.
Mentally.
Because even on their extended bench, they haven't named like
No, mentally. They're going to go and fucking not try.
Well, see, that's where I disagree with you, mate. This fucking lineage of morons from Penrith all think they're Penrith, play like Penrith, and operate like Penrith. Why the fuck are Dogs trying?
Okay. Dogs are
Right?
their own tier, right?
But-
Because Warriors actually have a chance. You're right.
Yeah. So
In
the
a
fact that
perfect
Dogs,
world.
the morons they are operating in a way of,
I
you know
agree.
what, we don't care, we're going to go and try. I'm going to expect the same from Webster, because they're both fucking sitting there with notepads taking notes from Ivan Cleary, who even this cunt gave up last round. They still think that, oh, you know what, it's important to go out there and try. So, you know what, Broncos, you cunts can go and win. I still think Warriors will try for no reason. And that's it, like, it does annoy me that I have to acknowledge that they will try, because, to be honest, I would rather be like, these cunts are going to give up so we can just take Manly and cheer for them, but I can't take Manly at $1.50, knowing how awful they are.
I don't think you can make it less than $1.50, but if I had a book, I'd literally give Manly $1.30. The way they play without Egan is like cancer. Titans have 5 wins this year, and they were up 12 and made Titans look like fucking ball beaters. In New Zealand. I'm good.
I agree with you. That's like despicable from them, but I can't even look at Manly.
No.
I'm sorry.
Look, it's all right, because the last 2 weeks you've been against Manly, and they're awful. But for whatever reason, it always gets to the end of the season. They don't have their end of season star, which usually is Kohler when he goes to fullback and they start fucking tearing shit up. But I just don't believe. The issue isn't them making meters. The issue isn't getting to the red zone, because they get there perfectly fine with or without Egan. It's when they're there, they look like fucking statues. And Manly, all it takes for them is to deflect once. As much as I believe the Warriors' defense, the last couple of weeks, as soon as you cunts have been deflected, you go fucking concede at the other end anyway. So, in my opinion, playing a better offensive team than Para, or any fucking Para variation you can put together. Yes, they don't have a few of their offensive players, but Manly in a motivation spot, playing for Terry Evans, I would literally put this $1.25. That's how much I think Egan means to this team. I've seen them without Egan, and I'm happily stay away from them.
It's not something I'm excited to cheer for, but I feel like I'm backed in the corner, and I will back the Waz up the fucking Waz. I'll defend you boys until the finals come around, then I will scream at you. But we have the age-old rivalry, 108 years of rugby league and 108 years of hatred between the Sydney Roosters and the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and the Souths are back from Bali and their bye round to put a dagger into this potential finals hopes of the Sydney Roosters team. And the pressure is on them because the Raiders are running out literally me and you in the half. Yeah. So
before you continue,
you'd like to
welcome to the next episode of the podcast, because this is an episode on
its own entity. And I guess I'll just do my job and hand over to you, because you have been very excited for this one for about 4 weeks. And in your defense, Chris, as the messiah that you have been of the NRL recently, you did call specifically that Roosters will lose to Para, beat Melbourne, and then you were penciled in at the time to say that they'll give up to Souths, but will they give up to Souths with Sam Walker back from concussion, pushing Sandos to the reserves, where he will not take place in this fixture? A win will wrap up a spot in the 8 for the Roosters, while a loss opens the door for the Dolphins at $1.03. A massive boost for the Bunnies, with Cameron Murray pointlessly named on the interchange bench for his first match of the season after rupturing his Achilles and watching his team give up for most of the season. Jack Wyden is back and has the captaincy armband given to him and will play centre instead of his boy Latrell, who conveniently will also miss this match with a back injury. Wyden's return sees Talis Duncan revert to back row, where he might also go and score 4 tries, and Jacob Host move to the bench. Alongside, this is the funniest bench of all time.
I know, it's so
Jacob
good.
Host, Cody Walker, Brandon Smith, and Cameron
What
Ryan.
a bench.
So, the bench are better than the starters, but the starters are at a point where they've made the Roosters 12.5-point favourites in this grudge match. Obviously, I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat anything. The world knows where you're leaning, so you tell us why you're leaning that way.
I have to take South. It's an obligation.
Is this one of those instances where if Souths were $1.90, you'd still take it?
Yes. Look, I said this in the Parrot game. I remember saying this to you on the day as well. The only way Roosters fuck this up is if they fuck it up themselves. Truly. And this Souths lineup is a new level. It's not even Para. Like, Para's lineup, at least they had Moses and shit. This Souths lineup is fucking Ashton Gray. So, the pinnacle would be for these cunts to fuck it up.
I'd rather Ashton Hall at halfback.
How will they fuck it up? How could Roosters possibly fuck this up? Because...
The send-off?
Yeah. Look, this is the logical part of what I'm going to say about South. Because it's obviously South. You can't say, the Roosters, they're motivated. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to take South. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who was really named in this game, to be honest. They've named enough for me to take them. Now, look, from a Roosters standpoint, all the motivation, everything to do... They know Raiders have given up now, so they know come Sunday, Dolphins are going to win 270-0. Herbie's going to play because he's on the reserves as well and he'll likely get out there. So, all of that in mind, this South team, before they went to Bali and quit on the air, were very, for whatever reason, in every scenario, they were only down 4.
Yep.
For whatever reason,
Yep.
right? Doesn't matter what happened in the game, they were down 4. They literally would give up for periods of time, literally 20 minutes, and just let cunts walk down the field.
Yeah.
And you'd look at the full-time score, and you're like, how did these cunts lose by 2?
Whatever the deficit was, they ended up losing by 2 anyway.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Including the Roosters game.
Now, Roosters, one thing I don't usually say about them, they're a very impatient team. So for South, it's a very simple process. And I know where the fuck-up will begin. South is simple. For 20 minutes before the boys come on, if you can't keep Roosters to 1 try or you're tied, they'll start fucking having jitters. And because they know who's coming off the bench and they're like, oh fuck, Murray's coming on, oh fuck, Walker's coming on. This is a shit team. We have to start fucking offloading. We have to start kicking to mark. And then it won't work and eventually they'll lose to South. I think that's how they're going to fuck it up. They know that first 20 minutes, and you will agree with this, they should lead 16, 18-0, realistically, in a perfect world. But that's the period of time that I think Roosters will overdo their hand and South kind of just stay in the game. And that's when the boys come on, which I'm hoping for, those boys come on, that's when Roosters will be like, oh, fuck, we missed our chance. Oh, fuck. All right, we'll start offloading. Let's give it to Robert Toya, and he can kick to fucking Sam Walker, and he can fucking kick to Mark. And they start doing weird shit, and that's where the errors come. Really, it's a long shot. And truly, as a Roosters hater, I would probably should be knighted by Trent Robinson himself if they don't make the 8 based off this.
I'm telling you, I'll bring a Zord and I'll knight you on the podcast
if they lose.
Win.
But from a logical standpoint, why the fuck would South try coming back from Bali last week? But in saying that, if there was any other team, and we said this a few weeks ago, they wouldn't try. Murray wouldn't come back for no reason. Walker probably wouldn't play this game because his boy's out as well. So I think the motivation, for whatever reason, is there for South to knock out the Roosters. And it's not even a knockout. It's a fucking sucker punch from nowhere. And these cunts are going to literally be on the floor days. I think Roosters fans, if they end up losing this the next day, will be like, well, Dolphins could still lose, bro.
Yeah. They won't be like, well, you know what?
We actually fucked up.
Yeah.
We actually fucked our whole season because we lost to Para and South. They'll be like,
they'll put a Raiders
bro, Dolphins could still lose.
Yeah.
And we'll sit there and if they both lose, hypothetically, Raiders win by some miracle, or they don't win by enough.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
That will be the argument. South will win by 2 and then be like, well, Dolphins might win by 4.
And we'll be like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It actually doesn't matter. Like, I'd still be knighted.
Yeah.
If you cunts make the 8 off the Dolphins not being there, they're shit anyway. They shouldn't be there. But you cunts have given them the opportunity. So, fuck it. Let's take South. 12, 14, 16, 2, 4, pick them. It doesn't matter. I'm taking South. Go South. Bring the pain.
Hey, I love your loyalty, your commitment
To Roosters.
to your own takes, to your own brand of hating the Waz, hating the Roosters. And you know what? This has been a good year for you because these sort of things have worked out for you for a very long time. Obviously, upset alert. When I reflect on it, the more and more, I think, why did that team win? Why did those pricks pick that game to try and win for this guy? A la Manly. And now I'm thinking, will this be the creme de la creme of all where Souths go out there and win? And then I squint a little harder and I think, fuck no. Unfortunately, for the sake of the pod.
I'm not looking in South as my upset alert.
Yeah.
Based on what has happened today on the
you're
team
gonna do
that is
something fun. You're gonna found something even funnier.
Yeah, of course.
Which is fine with me, but obviously, like the pod followers, and I'm speaking to the pod audience.
They know.
They have been waiting like weeks and weeks for this take from you. I will think personally that, alluding to what you said earlier, Souths psychologically probably are riling themselves up from their bye to get up for this game. And they're probably tricking themselves into thinking we're going to go out there and fire up. But I feel like once the game actually starts, by the time the boys come on, this game's fucking finished.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point. That first 20 minutes is so important.
I think Roosters are going to come out, make a statement, haymaker these cunts in the face. And by the time Cameron Murray, which I can't believe you can't even allow him to run out there, runs out and sees fucking 16-0 on the scoreboard, and here comes Cody Water, because Ashton Hall's fucking starting in this game without Latrell, I'm good, bro.
What I also would say is last week actually helped South, the way Roosters' game ended. Because they think they're sick cunts now.
Yeah, but
that's the only way South's are going to win.
This is my issue, where Roosters can actually think they're sick cunts and bury Souths in this game.
Yeah,
because Souths are they just don't have the middles, like Shaw, Tallis Duncan, Jai Arrow, Kalil Matangi. It looks better on paper, but coming off a bye, I don't think they're going to be ready for the physicality that the Roosters are going to bring. I liked how
ready for these
Robbo approached the press conference last round. Instead of jerking off his players and being like, we're the greatest offense of all time, he was like, we're very redirecting our focus and our energy into next round because nothing really matters if we go and give up the Souths. And I feel like as much as we bag him out as a coach, he will have his troops ready for this match, and the Roosters will play the right way. And they have like 3 gears that they can go to that Souths can't go to. So the only thing, like, I'm going to come out and say there's literally no way in the world Souths win, which will make it even tastier for you if they do go out and win. But from my perspective, the only conversation goes to, do I lay 12.5 with the Roosters or do I take the points? Because kind of all the factors of Souths are bringing back Cameron Murray and Cody Walker is coming off the bench and they are like healthy off a bye. This is the healthiest they've been for a long time. They have a motivation to play their arch-old fucking rivals. It's kind of all been thrown to the wayside for the point spread. I didn't think this will get to fucking 12.5 because Latrell's out, because they fucking played just fine without him, and Wyden's playing there, which is better than the morons they've been able to run out. Starting host every other round, like, they're not even starting him. Fucking Tallis Duncan, Wyden, Cody Walker in the 20th minute will be on the left side. It's pretty respectable, so...
And beep beep.
Beep beep at fullback, which if they bring either of the wingers to the middle of the park and kick to him, he's fucking finished.
Well, okay.
But are they smart enough to do that? We'll see.
That's exactly my point.
In the end, I just don't think Souths have a gear to go with them. Knowing that they'll lose makes me not inclined to take the points with them, because if they're down late, I feel like Souths will be like, fuck it, we really focused this week and we came out with the right intention, but this Roosters team is just too much fucking for us to handle, and they'll end up rolling over and getting fucking annihilated. I think Roosters probably end up winning by, I'm not going to say 30, 40, 50, because that wouldn't be doing this rivalry justice, but I feel like if you take Souths and Roosters end up winning by 16 or 18, you're going to be kicking yourself off like, fuck's sake, like, it's the right spot, it's the right side, they should have covered, but they just didn't have that level to go to with the angry Rooster side that have been playing much better. They did have the blip in the radar in the Eels game, but considering what they dished out last week, now you're adding Sam Walker back to that, I feel like it's it won't take much for front-running Roosters to come out and carry on from last round. And Souths, once the front-running starts, I don't think they have the answers to stop it, personally.
Best of luck, bro.
Best of luck,
You're
mate.
going against 7 and 8 in the upset alert category because I've convinced myself to take them. I love South.
I love South as well, bro, and I love your upset alert. I hope you win, but I have to come on as Mr. Fucking Objectivity
You know what?
on this
I'm
podcast
not.
and swear it's South.
I'll tell everyone on the podcast now. I won't even take the points. Fuck it.
Yeah, you can't take the points. You have to take them. Yeah,
It's straight up.
Because if you take the points and they win, like that doesn't really vindicate you when you put your head on the pillow.
There's no
right?
point.
If you come to be taking the points in this game, shout out to the Zarefos. Sorry, shout out to J-Maz and Barnsey for last round. Shout out to the Zarefos brothers. We move on to the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Shane Flanagan has so much faith in the team that gave up the last 2 weeks that he's naming 1 to 17 morons that have given up on the year. Ivan Cleary brings back the 17 quitters almost.
No, he quit a few more. He still hasn't played everyone.
To'o and Liam Martin are given another week after a big workload in 2025, which sees Paul Alamotti and Captain Matty Eisenhuth retain their spot in the 17. Outside of that, it's like, you know, like when you play touch footy in high school and you have heaps of subs, and like the first half one team plays, the second half another team, they're just like, all right, yalla, bring the A team on. So the A team is running out. And I think the spread is all the way to 14.5, knowing the Dragons have given up on the season. But do the Dragons have one last spot in them to go out there and have a go for their fans, for the Zarefos brothers, for the mighty Red V that they run out in every week to play themselves in somewhat of a respectable fashion to end a respectable season?
I think they do. I think as much as Flanagan has tried to rally his troops the last 2 weeks and they've given up, I think this week they will try. Penrith are a bottle full of excuses. And this week will be the pinnacle of that. They're going to win. They'll probably win by like 4 or 8 and say, well, we needed this week to regroup and that's why we rested 2 weeks ago and Ivan is a fucking genius. And what I think everyone will sit there and say, and maybe you'll say this too, they're just going to get back into gear and do it. But that is too logical for Penrith. That would mean that they're like invincible and like they're not. There's no human element to it, and they're robots. They have to pretend they're not robots. They have to pretend, oh yeah, we fucked it up to Dragons and we only won by 4, but we won the game, and now we're gonna go to New Zealand and annihilate them for no reason. Yeah, I'll take the points for Dragons in this one. I actually feel like this one's the game that you don't take Dragons at there because they're never gonna win. But you take the points, and I want it to keep going. I go to 16, like as many points as possible because Dragons, you need every point. I just feel like they're going to play for Flanagan and show that at the end of the day, and I'll give you this, Dragons have had a up and down year, but they've played great in certain parts. Mm-hmm. They're literally going to finish below Para if Para win. And I don't think that's a successful season with these cunts not having any players most of the year. And Riles being a first-year coach. And I don't think Dragons even deserve to be that level.
They don't.
They've competed well against other top 4 teams and good teams. They usually don't compete well against the shit teams, which we've seen the last couple of weeks. So I think this week I'll take the points, but this one is definitely a cover and they will never win. If you want to take a 1 to 40, it might be even better. So get more points for Dragons, but they're going to keep it tight with this Penrith team who obviously still has problems to score, and having a week off didn't help that. So I think they're going to warm into it for next week.
They have problems to score?
They can't score.
Agree or disagree? I haven't been tricky very often on the podcast, and I'm not going to tell my best bet because obviously cunts need to wake up, get on premium. But all I'm going to say is
Dragons have given up.
Dragons have given up on the season,
but they could score.
I think they will try in this game because
it's in the gong for De Belland.
All we've seen so far from them is that they do respond to Shane Flanagan, and when you respect your coach, think about teams that have like just completely mentally checked out on their coach.
Knights.
A la Knights. A la Titans, where, I mean, Des is a respectable figure, but clearly he's like, voices, they just have him on mute in the locker room. They don't give a fuck. They literally shower while he's talking. It's fucked in Gold Coast. Whereas I put Shane Flanagan in the category of the players respect him, and it would be a shame to end the season on a 600-0 scoreline because of how hard you guys have actually tried, how much adversity you have overcome. It does you no favors when you look at the ladder and see that you are where you are, but for the real ones, a la myself and Chris, we can actually look at this team and be like, you know what? With no players, you can't actually beat Raiders and Melbourne and Sharks and Brisbane. All of those games, you were at least $3, if not more, and you had no reason to win any of them, but you won all of them. Are you your own worst enemy for giving up against shit cunt sides? Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's your own mental problem. But as far as a team that we have somewhat respect in, that respects themselves, I feel like you will get an effort out of Dragons.
Is it going to be enough?
But on the other side, the Robots,
Not bad.
they have been on fumes for a very long time. And even on fumes, as much as I want to come on and shit on them every round my shitting on them has just been
Everyone's
due to
overhyping.
everyone overhyping and buying back them as the greatest side of
100%.
all time when they're not what they have been in previous years. But I still have mad respect for this team, this organization, this club. And even on fumes, they lost to the first team and the second team on the ladder, who we have penciled in for grand final appearances, both in Golden Point. Granted, Melbourne had no players, Raiders were their own entity, but hardly shameful losses in either of those situations. And this is a side that has been on fumes for a long time, obviously 9 straight, and then getting up to play their like competition for the premiership in those last. That's 11 straight weeks of trying from these cunts, which I don't think they've had to do that for quite some time. And that like mentally, like the fact they're still resting Martin and To'o shows me that physically and mentally, like they've just been battling for a while. But to have the luxury of literally running out dirt and getting a 9-day turnaround from that game. So essentially they've had like, they played on the Friday in Mudgee and they're playing on the Saturday. So 15 days in between games for this team is enough to freshen up that I think they'll come out and physically like do disturbing things to the Dragons forward pack to start this game off. They'll go out to a big lead, and I feel like the risk for playing the -14 is that Ivan will start pulling players in the last 20 minutes.
I think he will.
I think that's something he has done in the past. So what I'm saying is, and I'm not giving out an official best bet on this podcast because again, wake up
Wake
get on
up
premium,
and pay for
but
his shit cunt.
what I think is Penrith will probably go out to a big lead somewhere in the first half, and then they'll be like, all right, job's done. Like,
Here come Dragons.
Let's start getting ready to go and destroy Warriors. And then once that happens, Dragons will have enough ticker in them to take advantage and somewhat come back once Penrith have already established that we are the greatest side of all time again, playing Dragons at $1.20 in round 27. So that's kind of what I think about this one.
Well, look, okay. I think like you alluded to a good point that we haven't really discussed everywhere else. Let's say Broncos go down by 20. Do you pull Walsh?
Yeah.
If Warriors go down 20, do you pull your players?
Yeah.
So, and Roosters won't, like regardless, because they want the throat and bleeding of South Sydney.
Well, it's kind of both sides. If Warriors and Broncos are up 20 for whatever reason, do you also pull your players?
Well, we know Melbourne won't.
Melbourne won't either way, but...
And Manly won't. So, like, it's really only applies to one side. In those scenarios, which we'll get to another team who will start pulling players, and I actually think their reserve list is probably the most important.
Okay.
Which is in the Super Bowl. But because they have a particular pack that can essentially
Really
shift in and out, which they've done really well. And you know what, Fitzgibbon, like, we give you a lot of shit sometimes, but you actually fucking have a brain sometimes, unlike the cunt on the other side. But in this game, yeah, I can see that sort of happening. I know Penrith's going to come out physically and dominate Gula and Clemmer, so it's going to be scary being on 14. But I think the back door is going to be a little open.
I agree with you.
Here we go.
Moving on to
Des.
Shout out to you, Harry, Charlie, you,
I don't
me,
want it.
for one last time for this mighty West Tigers team taking on the Wooden Spooners. But will they be the Wooden Spooners after this fixture?
Yes.
Well, it's going to be really important depending on who's playing for these sides. Because who plays matters for the Titans especially. And they've brought in people from another code to save them.
Maybe he's Mark 2.0.
Des called the coach of the Wallabies. He's like, I need fucking reinforcements.
I need Mark.
Jojo Fafita's down. Can I borrow Mark? Oh no? Alright, I'll grab this guy instead. Former Wallaby Carter Gordon and teenager Cooper Bayi will make their NRL debuts in Des Hasler's final game as a Titans coach.
Thanks.
Gordon comes into the centres in place of Jojo Fafita, BackYourself favourite, in a reshuffled backline that sees Keanu Kini finally go back to fullback.
And your boy goes...
AJ Brimson, a.k.a. Manu,
Manu's back.
go to the centres, and Phil Sami go to the wing where he was so good in the 60-0 loss to the Warriors. For no reason, Jalen McGrew has been dropped, and Tony Francis is also out, who's an awful player. Gerald Skelton, after going shots on
on Stranger, not
and
tackling.
smashing Strange, concusses himself and is replaced by 18-year-old debutant Hemasi Makasini, while Seyfarth returns from suspension. Shout out to you, Harry. I'm sure you have missed him, mate. And Charlie Murray goes to the reserves.
Surely.
We have a good old-fashioned, this close to a pick 'em, a little bit of pushback because of Carter Gordon
What?
coming in to save Dez's resume. In this fixture, obviously these sides went at it about 4 weeks ago in the Thriller in Manila, where Adam Dewey kicked them into oblivion in the game-winning field goal at Leichhardt. 5:30 p.m. Will the Knights be on the bottom of the ladder come 7:30 in this match, or are the Titans beyond help? That's the $1 million. That's what people are paying you to fucking understand, mate.
I feel like Titans might win, you know. But the awesome take is that someone else might win as well.
You moron.
Nah, come on. Why are Titans going to win? There's no reason to, but I think Tigers may quit more than Titans.
I have a really funny take in this game for you.
I really think, I really hope that no one really televises this game other than us, because truly it doesn't deserve television. I know it's comedy, and I know you cunts are probably going to just watch for laughter, but truly one of the worst scheduled games of all time. And at the time, in between back to back, I would say the first one and the second one are both shit. Well, of course, it's like fucking the cunts that run out before the Super Bowl happens. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
So look, if I had to pick one side, gun to my head, because I truly don't think I'll pick a side in this game, I'd have to take the mighty Titans to fuck up and essentially not come last and fuck my futures bet over. But in true style, Titans could just quit on the air. And I've been the one to say, and I think you finally came around last week, they're atrocious. They're so bad that I don't think Des leaving means fuck all to them. So, if that's what you're betting on and hinging on, don't think it's anything. I actually think Tigers might try a bit more. They've actually ended the year pretty well outside of fucking last week.
No, they were okay last week. They tried.
Yeah, that was the problem. They tried. But I think they're going to end the year well. I would take Tigers. Fuck it. Fuck Titans, bro. I think you said this last week, and I convinced you away from Titans, which ended up winning on the closing line, not on the closing line, the early line. Bro, I think you mentioned this well. Do you want to put your hard-earned cash to only return 1 point with Titans? I'm good. I think we've seen the whole year. These cards are fucking awful. And the only reason I would take them this week is because NFL's on and Titans are playing in the other sport. And for anyone that doesn't know NFL, Titans are just as bad and just as fucked this week in the NFL as well. So you could potentially take a Titans multi. Other than that, fuck Titans. I'll happily fade them for this game and conclude the year of these cuts coming last. I actually won't take a bet, I've just realised, because essentially there's no reason for me to take Tigers when I have Titans at 13-1 to come last. And that's essentially going to be my bet for this game, because they lose, they won.
You have Tigers at $13.
Correct. So I'm good.
Good bit of futures work from you, mate. Well done.
Thank you, Titans.
You said that you don't want to put your hard-earned money, only getting 1.5 point with the Titans, and unfortunately I would have to agree with you. Because I don't need any points. Here come the Titans to leapfrog the Knights. And after playing like absolute fucking dirt for 6 straight months, outside of playing Knights themselves twice.
Listen.
This team is a fucking abomination. A disgrace to professional sport. And come 7:30, when the Super Bowl participants are running out, in the game following this, they'll be playing the tune Remember the Titans when these pricks run out, because the Titans are going to win this game for no reason. The West Tigers have been up for a very long time. I thought they were valiant in defeat last round after Drinkwater and fucking Dearden ripped their heart out of their chest at Leichhardt, and they went to Canberra in front of 22,000 fucking pricks wearing green, and they tried that game for 80 minutes as well, just so they can now go to Gold Coast and give up in the final round. These teams, I mean, the Tigers are the better side. You are getting a shit price with Titans because they're a fucking despicable outfit. But sometimes narratives are what you need to put your hard-earned money
narrative
on,
is-
because I would not put my hard-earned money on any one of these 17 players in isolation. The Titans struggle with a lot of things. They're a struggling fucking outfit in themselves, but one thing that they really struggle with is conceding points. And in my opinion, they're coming up against a team that truly can't score. This Tigers side, don't look at the 28 points they scored against Cowboys. Those cunts will give that to anyone.
That's true.
I truly think that this side, I've been
Titans are
saying it
worse.
for a very long time. Dewey, when he was there, and they beat Manly, and they beat fucking all those sides when Dewey was there, was actually the key that unlocked everything for these morons. And the old man on the left side getting over $1 million a year, Mr. Intangibles, still has not been showing me enough tangibles to fucking make me go and take these pricks in this situation. You have a piss weak bench running out fucking Heath, Seyfarth, Suker, and Royce Hunt for 9 minutes of the match.
For crazy Mantis.
Shout out to you, crazy Craig Mantis. And this Tigers forward pack is a little bit skinny.
Who's that?
Kinney playing fullback is obviously better than Brimson, because Kinney, unlike most of his teammates, does actually put his heart on his sleeve for 80 minutes. And I just think that shit is just going to go on the Titans' way and they're going to win.
Titans are
Every
nice
single week, these pricks go out there and they don't even get the chance to front run. They're always playing from behind because of how awful they are. But I feel like this is the one. You said that they literally haven't tried for 80 minutes for like 6 months. Or I think it was somebody else, maybe Clarkey. Shout out to you, Clarkey. They literally haven't had an 80-minute performance for like since they played Roosters in round 5. They just can't do it. But I actually feel like this will be 80 minutes of effort from these morons. Will they concede some dirt to Tigers? Absolutely. Will Carter Gordon probably get fucking hammered by Taylor May in a one-on-one situation and concede off a scrum? Sure. But I don't see the motivation of Tigers going out there and defending for their lives in this fixture. And truly, for that reason, as much as it pains me to say, I actually think that the footy gods are not really overlooking this season. And for that reason, come 7:30 p.m, the Knights will be on the bottom of the ladder and the Titans will springbook themselves into the high and mighty 16th position on the ladder. Tigers, I don't even give a fuck. Like, I couldn't care less if you can't go and lose this game because it means nothing. Titans, is there anything for you cunts to salvage in this come the season review of what we're going to say if you come 16th? I would say no.
It's even worse.
16th, 15th, 14th, you cunts were dirt from start to finish, so there's no saving grace. But as far as the history books, you might have 1% respite, seeing that cunts will look back at 2025 and be like, oh, Adam O'Brien came last in his last year in the Knights, that makes sense. And they'll forget all about how despicable you guys were, even though me and you won't. And that's my take.
They were like way worse this year. Holy fuck, they were bad. Like compared to last year.
We can have that debate come the review.
Last year they literally started 0-6.
Yeah, no, mate, last year they had hope. This year was
And they fucking fired up from that point.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
New podcast. We're starting a new episode.
The Super Bowl is being taken at fucking 7:30 p.m. sharp on Saturday night. All the marbles are being pushed to the table, and the season will end on this fixture, according to Cameron Ciraldo. And I have
what you've done. He's got one more time to go through every single game.
I have one massive job. Maybe he's just like didn't want to give me too much work to do on the podcast because he's running out there and trying. What the fuck are you doing, Ciraldo? Shout out to Tim, Matt, Chris Creas, all the gentlemen in the comments of the podcast below. Probably our most passionate fan base that we communicate with on a weekly basis. The team that refused to back their side at $1.08, but will tip them in Melbourne next round at $50
They're going to tip them this week.
And Ciraldo has been like, I'm going to fucking do what I have been taught to do at Penrith and run out there and try. We'll get to you shortly, but I have to get through your team list first.
And the fallouts. Oh my God.
The world stopped in place when the scans came back for Jacob Carras. He is out for the next 4 to 5 weeks.
So he's out for the year.
It's almost as if taking risks with your best players when you have no monetary gain or space for improvement on the ladder is a horrible fucking idea. And this is evidence of that. Jacob Carras, unfortunately, the Dogs will be in look for another fullback this round. Nari Tuwala gets the nod on the wing because Tupou and Mark Wanganituase aren't playing this week. And as he gets ready for Kurt's next round, good luck. Kikau's infection is healed, so Josh Curran reverts to the bench. Saluka Fafita drops out, and Kikau starts in the back row. On the Sharky side of things, Jesse Ramian returns 2 games out after having 2 games on the sideline with a thumb injury. So thank God Haradi makes way.
Thank God.
Braden Trindle has been named to play despite also having an ankle injury. Oregon Kaufusi is listed among the reserves as he looks to come back and party this week.
Why?
Because he's actually been out for a very long time. But before we can get to the point spread, we have to get to the shout-outs. Shout out to you, Connor Tracy. You are able to sleep easily at night knowing that no one's coming for your fullback position come the news of Jacob Carraz. Shout out to you. Shout out to Tuala. You might catch 1 high ball this week, which will be maybe a record for you. Will you also be able to score? Well, you're not at night, so it is possible. Bronson Jerry, will you give the Sharks fans an up yours after doping and being suspended for 4 years and getting back on the try scorer sheet this week? It's possible. Even likely, some would say. Stephen Crichton, the man that has the greatest lawyer in sports, runs out there with the captaincy armband. He saw his boy go down last week, but that didn't stop him from running out there. Shout out to him. What a model citizen. What a model of consistency and effort. And he epitomizes what the Bulldogs are, which is trying, apparently. Montoya, after the career-threatening circumcision he got, he's running out there. Shout out to him. Matt Burton. I'm really losing count with this guy. 6 weeks, 7 weeks. When did you last play good? I'm begging you. Maybe he's saving it for back-to-back. He's won the Super Bowl, and then he'll play the All-Star game after this and play good in that one as well. Galvin, I think the statue counts down to 4. It's been halved in the last 2 weeks. It might be doubled by full-time if you can get the Super Bowl MVP in this one. That'll be important. Max King, you know what? You can wear sky blue. You can wear the Sharkies blue. As long as it's not the New South Wales blue, I'm happy with you. Bailey Hayward, the man that actually found the time machine and went back to 1908 when the sport was founded and created the dummy half position. Hooking was not a thing before. Bailey Hayward made it. So shout out to him. Sam Hughes, I don't even want to acknowledge the fact that you almost got a hat-trick the other round. Fuck you. Kick out, shout out to you. Your infection is healed conveniently, so you're back to take on Billy Burns. How courageous. Jacob Preston, Kevin Walters has come out and said that he's found his Australian captain and it's this man. There was no other candidates. That's how good he is. Jamin Salmon, LAPD, NYPD, CSI, you name
FBI.
it. FBI. They've broken into his house. There's a vault. They tried every combination of PIN numbers that they could find in the world, but they could not find the photos of Ciraldo and or Gus inside of that vault, so he retains his spot in the 13th position. Shout out to Kurtman, you can't be bleeds Maroon. Shout out to Tupanua. 2 weeks without your hamstring or a shoulder charge causing you to miss the rest of the fucking finals, so you are more on alert this round. Josh Curran, shout out to you, he's a pretty good player. Reed Marnie, Ciraldo was quoted to say that he will get 3.5 minutes of game time this week, as he is now the 25th best hooker in Canterbury.
Is there anyone else you got to call out on the road?
Shout out to Ciraldo, you
moron.
You are a true moron for what you're doing this round. And shout out to Gus, the man that didn't know Galvin, but signed him anyway. Over to you, my friend. Ciraldo is all yours.
No, it's not. I'm going to save him for you.
Okay.
This is like...
Oh, sorry, 4.5 is now your point spread because he's come to trying.
I don't think there's anything in this game that epitomized... Like, anything this year has ever shocked me like this game. And you know what is incredible? If they lose...
Wow.
I actually don't know what to say anymore about these cuts. They're like the epitome of what the opposition is. Like, Sharks have the opportunity to put this one over them, that they literally cannot beat a top 8 side. And the fact that we're sitting here right now and have to contemplate why Ciraldo is doing what he did is actually incredible. And I know this game is like, in what of my analysis of this round, this will mean something to Sharks. This could potentially put them into the 4. Which, if Ciraldo and Gus actually had a fucking brain, does you cunts a favour, hypothetically. Because you don't want Warriors in the 4, because then you have to play Penrith, or then you have to play Broncos. You want Sharks in the 4, so then hypothetically you can get Warriors and beat them, and then go to fucking Sharks and repeat this game when it actually matters in the prelim, you fucking idiots. It's honestly, there's only downside in this game. And I've said this I said this about Dragons a few weeks ago, and I'll say it again for this game. Dogs, you win 100-0. I'll give you guys 100 against Sharks. Truly means nothing. What does it mean? Who gives a fuck? You know what? You know what's incredible for Sharks as well? They could play these cuts in 2 weeks and might beat them then.
Yeah.
And this is not even full strength Sharks, so don't think you're fucking Eshe sick cunts, because their best second row is in there, and McInnes is out, and like there's no accomplishment if you win this game at all. Like I wouldn't give you guys any tick of approval. This is the odds may not reflect it. This is last week 2.0, in my opinion. It doesn't mean shit. You beat Sharks. I'll give you cunts no credit come the review if you cunts beat Sharks 100-0. Who cares? Because it's just stupidity. Absolute stupidity from Ciraldo. Because in 2 weeks' time, you may have to play Sharks again. And at that point, you guys are going to be like, well, we beat them 2 weeks ago, and we're going to fucking beat them again. Will the Sharks know they've sat back and fucking relaxed? Now, in my opinion, this game will matter. If the game doesn't matter, like I said, Fitzgibbon actually has a fucking brain. He's put a hooker on the bench. He's put a half on the reserves. He's put another... Kafusi's on the reserves as well. So you can easily take out someone like Trindle, easily take out Brayley, easily take out Hines, easily take out... Haroti's also on the bench. Take out Kennedy. And know that Brisbane has made the 4, or Warriors have won as well. And they're like, fuck it. Really, it's Brisbane because...
It's just Brisbane.
Because hypothetically, even if Warriors win, Sharks can win and make it. But he could do that anyway. You don't know, right? But in my opinion, Bulldogs, like... I don't know what you cunts think this game is, but
The Super Bowl.
I just don't understand it. I think this is the dumbest move from any coach in the competition in 2025. Dumbest move ever. I think Adam O'Brien wouldn't do something like this.
I agree with you.
This is incredible.
I don't have the words. Very quickly, I'm just going to allude to the Sharky side of things. And we have a game to preview in some capacity, so we will preview the game. But the talking point is not on the Shark side, which I will just quickly allude to. Okay, from the Sharks' perspective, you played Knights and Titans, and you had a bye in between. So as far as I'm concerned, you haven't played a game of footy in a month. So you do somewhat need this game as a barometer. Physically, you're fresh. You haven't been challenged for a long time, and no one wants to go into either a sudden death final or go to Canberra with that kind of recent form of, well, we haven't actually been out of second gear in any of these games. None of these games help us for like trying to build to taking on what we're going to be taking on in a week's time. You have named players that are interchangeable in the reserves, as Chris alluded to. Someone like Kafusi, the Brazilian guy that I like. Atkinson could come in, Harodi could come in, and certain players that need to have a run out there, like Ramian, could still play while you rest other players. I feel like irrespective of if they are playing for a 4th spot or not, Sharks will try either way because of all the things I mentioned. But
they might not all be out there.
I think they will all be out there regardless, because like I said, they're fresh and healthy, and there's no reason to rest outside of avoiding injury. But again, Sharks probably need a challenge to some extent, and that's why they have named everyone that they have named. On the dog side of things, you moron.
I want to say, like, just on the Sharks side, because we didn't really talk about the game. Complete opposite. You can't have it all to gain. Like, not even the fact that it's if a top 4 is already out the window, but if you can't just go beat Dogs, like, that's so much confidence is going to come out of that just for fucking beating these cunts who shouldn't be trying in the first place.
I would like to talk about the game with you once I get to what I'm about to get to.
Ciraldo,
Ciraldo. Gus, whoever made the call, you morons. What the fuck are you guys thinking?
They're thinking. That's what.
Truly, as Chris said, the dumbest decision of the season. I went back and checked. These pricks last had a bye in round 15.
Yeah, I know. That.
We're in round 27, Chris. 3 months.
3 months of footy.
These pricks have run out there week after week for 3 months. And they probably play a more physical brand of footy than any other side. So if there's any team that actually does need a bye in the NRL, it's these morons. But no, we're going to go out and win the Super Bowl. Does he know that they have to go to Melbourne next week? Or does he think that they're just going to drop the Bulldogs banner at the time?
Okay. And
I don't get it.
Dogs fans, for the cunts that, the 2 boys at Virgin Active, I forget your names. He said to me, this is a test. So Galvin gets as many games of finals footy under his belt because this is going to be like a finals game. Listen up. This is not a finals game. This is just a self-destruction. Because next week, you actually made the preview next week easy. What are we going to say? How can we go out? How can we come out to our fans with a straight face and say, yeah, we're going to take Bulldogs next week?
We can't.
It's not possible.
It doesn't actually matter what the line is.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Okay.
20 and a half.
Let's play every hypothetical for this weekend, knowing that Ciraldo has decided to pull the trigger and run out all of his troops.
You win 200-0.
Best case scenario, right? You run out there, Sharks are trying as hard as they can, no one gets injured on your side, and you win 250-0.
What's the... Yay!
Good job, Bulldogs. You went out there and pumped Sharks when you've already went to fucking Shark Park
anyway.
without kick-out, without Burden, without fucking everyone that didn't play that game as 12-point underdogs, and already beat these morons in their own building to prove that you are a better side than them. And now both of you pricks are full strength, and as garbage as Dogs have been playing, you're still 4-point favourites. Chris, who's the better team out of these two?
Dogs.
We know you're better than them. It's fine, right? So hypothetically that happens, you beat them. Does that help you even 1% going to Melbourne next week with Harry Grant coming back to who the fuck I just read out that's going to annihilate Brisbane? Fuck no. So that's hypothetical one.
And they have 2 days more rest.
Yeah, and they have 2 extra days rest. Hypothetical number 2. Sharks try, you try, no one gets injured, and you lose. Then what are you pricks going to say? Then you're tired and you're garbage. Then, like, what the... Fuck me. That's just so dumb the more I think about it. Number 3, you win, and it's gritty and it's tough fought, but you lose another player. We saw Jacob Carraz fucking do his ankle jumping for a pointless high jump fucking ball last round at 28-4 against Enrith, and you're going to fucking need him when you go to Melbourne and play coach, but now he's out. What the fuck are you going to do if Critter strains a hamstring in this game? Yeah. You're going to be like, oh, it's all good, we'll beat Sharks. We'll go to Melbourne without Critter now. Who would play centre?
Inari. And look, the one thing, if Sharks do rest, which maybe they will, like, Ramian and Iro will play, like, because they need the reps.
They need the reps.
So you're going to get the best centre on them, and injuries happen. It's just fucking... Why did Kiraz get injured? His own stupidity last week.
Yeah, just
jumping for the ball,
right?
And then it just fucking does his knee. Like, just... I get you want the team to be playing better, but at this point in the year, and Dogs fans are going to hate me saying this, you just cannot take that step. I think they don't think... It's 2 scenarios. They're building for next year, or they genuinely believe they can still win the comp. Which, as a club, yeah, you guys should be pumping it. But all the fans should sit there and go, we can't win. We're actually playing awful footy. And we've said it a few times, there's other teams in the A, even Roosters, who are 8th, are probably better playing. We've proved it. They are playing better footy than Dogs are.
Yeah.
You can't win. It's like they want to prove themselves, we can still win the comp this year. And for no gain. Like, who cares if you beat Sharks? I'm trying to think of why this can't even thought of doing
I know exactly why he's done it. And this is where I'm going to put a bow on the blow-up about Ciraldo.
And Gus.
Ciraldo's thinking...
He thought?
We haven't been playing good footy. Our attack needs work. Galvin, we tried to integrate him midway through the season and it hasn't gone to plan. So we need as many reps as humanly possible. That will help us when we go to Melbourne next week. Which is 5% true.
Nothing's going to help you.
It is 5% true. But I'll ask you, Chris, what is more impactful for their chances to go and do something in Melbourne next week?
You need rest, bro. And how many weeks have we said that?
1 extra week of playing Sharks for no reason. Or after 12 straight weeks of playing every single round and having no buys, mentally, physically getting the whole fucking team refreshed and ready to go in. Honestly, the only way you would ever fucking beat Melbourne in your wet dream would be to physically annihilate their forwards in the middle of the park, which is the strength of your team, right? And I just don't understand, like, honestly, probably the most idiotic decision.
It's the dumbest decision in the
And I never ever want to see players get injured, but I would hate for us to come on the review of this podcast
And Critter's down or something.
you motherfuckers are going to Melbourne as 16-point underdogs because Critter's down, Kickow's down, Burden's down. You can't afford to lose these players, and the fact that you're willing to risk them for no fucking gain on the ladder, you're not in the Sharks' position of not having the rest for as long as you haven't had it. It truly blows my mind. Now, as far as this actual game goes, as I said, I think Dogs are the better side. They're the better defense. They play a better style of footy than the Sharks, in my opinion. They have an identity and they stick to it. This Sharks team are just, outside of playing at PointsBet Stadium, they've been awful the whole year, and there's no reason for me to think that they won't go out there and lose to Dogs, even though it means fucking nothing.
I can't sit here and believe, and I think you said it before, the footy gods haven't been around this year. Not that I wish for injury. I actually wish they just lose.
Dogs?
Yeah. Because the footy gods need to, really rain down on Ciraldo to know that he made the wrong decision and get a defeat. Not that anyone gets injured. You go to Melbourne full strength. I couldn't give a fuck. But the only thing is you literally have an L next to your name because of this game. And everyone will know you cunts tried. And we're favourites in this game.
Yeah.
I think the footy gods can do us justice in this last round and make sure these cunts lose.
Oh,
that would be the only reason I'll take Sharks.
As garbage as Dogs have been playing, it's very palpable they go and lose to Sharks. That's not out of the realm of possibility.
But Dogs are the better team.
I can't imagine what that would do for the psyche of Dogs, knowing that our only win in the last month is playing, literally not even Enrith. We beat Rith. We went out there and tried for no reason and got pumped by Sharks. And we got hammered by Roosters in Melbourne. And now we have to go to Melbourne again. We're not even, fresh. Mind-blowing.
It's just shit. Type of coaches.
Nothing to gain, really. And as far as, handicapping this game, would it make a difference if, this has gone back and forth the whole weekend, where Sharks are favourite 1 hour, Dogs are favourite the next. It's stabilised at 4.5 now. Sharks are $2.30. Do I think that it will shorten if Broncos win? Sorry, do I think Dogs will shorten if Broncos win and Sharks can't make the 4? I don't think so. And I also don't think that if Broncos get annihilated, like we're saying, this will go to pick him or some shit. I think the books have said, well, Dogs are trying.
Fuck it.
Everyone's fucking there. We have to put them favourites. Let's just put this at -4.5 and then leave it at that. That's how this one will go.
What if the Sharks boys rest? Then they'll get to 10.
But
I don't think Hines...
But the replacements for the Sharks boys are comparable. Let's say Trindle's out and Atkinson, it will go to 6 or 7.
No, I think Hines won't play.
I think he'll play.
Nah.
If a half's getting arrested, it'll be Trindle on his bum ankle, sorry.
He's fine. He literally played the rest of the game.
Anyway.
And definitely Adam Fanua-Blake's a big loss. That's probably the biggest. So
I agree with you.
Listen, Dogs. You probably are going to win, and you probably cover, and there will be no injuries. Why the fuck are cunts taking Sharks? Out of principle. But out of principle, I've never seen a team that deserves an L more than these cunts.
We're very unconventional because most of the media are blowing up at teams for resting. We're the only cunts blowing up at them for not resting.
Why would you not rest if you're going to Melbourne next week? I don't understand this.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And they get 2 extra days. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Help me, Ciraldo. Someone email him. Explain to me why he did this.
I can't believe it. Anyway, let's put a bow on that one.
Onto a game that has rest.
A 20-minute preview might end up in a 30-minute review. We'll see what happens. Chris Creas, Matt, Tim, want all your opinions. Are we on the money with our take saying that you guys are true morons for running out there? Or for whatever reason, are you guys actually happy and we're just missing the boat? You let us know what the kennel thinks of this one. Moving on to the Dolphins playing the Aiders in this one. The Raiders, the reports throughout the week where Ricky Stewart were like, well, we won the minor premiership, so we don't give a fuck. And it looks like they don't give a fuck. 12.5 is the spread in this one in the favour of the Dolphins. And I was hypothesizing what the spread would be if full-strength Canberra were running out in this game. I would have it at 6.5, 7.5 at Redcliffe. So this essentially is similar to the Bulldogs-Penrith game where the point spread moves about 20 points, which might create an opportunity in some capacity. No. Let's have a think. Star centre Herbie Farnworth is closing in on a return from a hamstring injury he suffered in round 22. The Englishman has been named in the extended squad and be called up later in the week. Obviously, we have insider trading with Christian Wolf. Not that we actually do, but obviously he's going to run out there. Who gives a fuck? You're not tricking anyone. Fini Fuiaki will return to replace Connolly the Melu in a straight swap that nobody gives a fuck about in Australia.
Oh.
Ricky Stewart is taking the opportunity to rest Kyle Weeks, Jed Stewart, Ethan Strange, Fogarty, Tarpany, Starling, Sasangi, Papali, Hosking, and Hudson.
That's good.
The new look green machine features Chevy Stewart. Okay, I'm just gonna read out their 17 because that's the only way this will make sense. Chevy Stewart at fullback, Tamale, Timoko, Sebastian Chris, Asamoah makes his debut. Adam Cook and Ethan Sanders, Horsburgh is captaining the side, which is hilarious. Owen Paddy, Mariota, Noah Martin, Matty Nicholson is back for you, who had a great start to the season. Morgan Smithies at lock, Danny Levi, Trey Mooney, Y, Terry, and Joe Roddy is running out there as 12.5-point underdogs. Chris, I think the world...
It's all about the motivation.
Everyone in the stratosphere will be on the fins knowing that the Raiders are running out there with essentially nothing. Will you side with the world?
Yeah, it's simple. Just take South and take Dolphins. I mean, if you want to take Dolphins, literally don't even take the spread. Do this. Simple. Take Dolphins at head and take South at head. Put them in a multi because you're essentially going to get $4.50 maybe on South because Dolphins will not lose this game regardless of what happens.
I hate to cut you off.
Yeah. If Souths win, obviously, they're not going to lose.
I think the way to play that would be... Look, Souths are not going to win by fucking 20, right?
Yeah, no.
So if you are going to take the multi, which I agree with you, if you're playing Dolphins in this game, you're probably better off taking like Souths head to head into Dolphins -8 because they probably would need to win by double.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's true. Because there's no reason to take Dolphins now. If you've missed the price, don't take -12 because they might not need 12. Who knows how many they need on game day? Even though I believe, and I said this last week, and I made a reel about it, the Raiders will literally lay on the floor to make sure Roosters don't make it, which could happen. But in terms of like value logic, there's no reason to lay 12, 13, 14, whatever the number ends up being on the day. Everyone's going to take Finns. Everyone's going to take 13 plus. Like, because of the motivation being at Redcliffe, 2 p.m. in the afternoon, Raiders have no one. Perfectly fine, and I think that's good logic, but you got to pair it with South. I think like there's no reason to lay that many points when Dolphins may not need that much. And hypothetically, like you said, maybe you could do to even boost it even higher. Souths 1-12 into Dolphins -5.5 or something like that.
Oh, well, yeah. That'd be
and that will probably be, what, $8?
$10, yeah.
$10. Like, you're getting a way better price than laying 12 with Dolphins. And then if Souths don't win, and obviously you lose the multi, you don't really want to take Dolphins on the day. Like, what motivation they have to annihilate Raiders for no reason. It's probably a game Dolphins win by like 10. So I think in that case, I would take a 1-40 if the first one isn't riding. But God, you'll be cheering on the day of Dolphins. And so will all of Redcliffe if Souths have won that first game. Because come Sunday, and like I've said, between Sharks, Raiders, the Dolphins game, and Knights, which I think you're leaning, the Knights is going to be the one that actually matters on the final day. I lean this one. This one and Sharks more. I think Titans will lose for some dumb reason.
That's very, very likely.
I think, but I think one of these games will matter, and we'll see if this garbage Dolphins team like really runs up the score. If Dolphins have a chance to make the 8, Raiders will show like as much resistance. I know they're a team under Ricky Stewart; they will try, but maybe for a half, second half, fuck me, these Dolphins are gonna fucking just lay it down because. If you want to see backyard footy, you're going to see it in fucking 4K come Sunday if they need like 8 points to make the 8 or some shit because holy fuck, they're going to throw the footy around with this lineup. Hopefully, the lineup, the God backline with Farnworth going back into the centres and moving Averillo to the wing starts come Sunday because it's always a good watch and wow, they're going to score a lot of points.
It's a very interesting game. I feel like when it gets to the final round, certain fixtures depend on other fixtures. So hypothetically, if this stupid fucking Bulldogs team wasn't trying, you could do a lot of correlated multis between the Broncos game and the Sharks game. Like, for example, you could take Melbourne, knowing that if they win, then you could actually end up taking fucking Warriors and Sharks because Warriors will like be, oh fuck, we're on for the 4. Yeah. And then Sharks will be like, well, we just need to win and we're in as well.
Well, you could do that with Melbourne Warriors and then Melbourne Sharks.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like this game is very contingent on the Souths game, but in my opinion, you don't know which variation of Dolphins to take until the South's result is set in stone.
Correct.
So it's a little bit harder to take. I'm very bullish that Souths are going to lose. So I feel like I would probably be more inclined of taking Raiders or overs. There's enough talent in the Raiders team that
We'll score.
I'd like in the situation that the finals are already out of the picture for Dolphins. I've seen them defending with the finals on the line, and they fucking went and gave Manly 60 points. So, do I want to go and lay 12 with a side that gave Titans 30, gave Manly 60, knowing that one of your boys, Owen Paddy of War, who might fucking be the Queensland hooker 5 years from now, they've had big raps on Ethan Sanders, who is meant to come in and take over for Fogarty next year in a swap where they were happy to let Fogarty leave the building. Chevy Stewart, as you said, has played first grade before. The forward pack between Nicholson, Mariota, Horsburgh, if anything, the forward packs are probably even. So, legit, this game just boils down to have fucking Souths won by 2 and Dolphins need to win big to make it. Then, yeah, I would take 13 plus. And if anything, alternate, I would take, literally Dolphins to score maybe over 46 points. I know, 2 p.m. at Redcliffe, fuck me. Every 2 minutes is just going to be Trey Fuller, hammer time, and Herbie, up the middle of the Raiders, who don't even give a fuck to even be there in the first place. But in the case that Roosters win, I feel like Dolphins, they'll be deflated in terms of their motivation, but their motivation to score points is there fucking every game, which would still be the case, and I would either take overs or I would take Canberra with the points.
Would you if Souths win, would you consider, Dolphins score 50 plus?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would lay 20. Over 30 with Dolphins.
Because Raiders don't give a fuck.
They don't give a shit. Why the fuck would they give a rat's ass?
Yeah.
The handicapping part becomes, okay, whatever happens, either Dolphins are going to be hungry to make the 8 and score 50, or they're not going to give a fuck. They're going to throw the foot around and they're going to score 50. They're going to score 50 either way. The tricky part is, okay, if they're trying to make the 8, they can't let fucking Raiders score 20 for no reason. Yeah. Then they'll defend. Then that's when you can take minus 30 or whatever. If they don't give a fuck and they're just going to throw the footy around the whole game, then that leans me more towards overs or Raiders, seeing as I think in that sort of a shootout game, you want to be on game day. This will be fucking 14 or something.
This will way more.
Once Herbie gets named, it'll be 15.
Oh, 16. Bro, if Souths win, this could get to 20.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to fucking annihilate it.
Yeah.
And you'll be laughing, right? So that's why we're saying now, if you're going to take Dolphins right now, you're watching the podcast, take it with Souths. Because no matter what, there's no reason to lay 20 when you don't need to. And you need that Souths win for them to win by 20 anyway. So
yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. Let's see. I think it's going to be a show regardless. Whatever happens on Friday.
I know. I do like both the Sundays games. Shout out to Charles Croon, and we can put a bow on that one and move on
to the final time.
The funniest way to end the 2025 regular season. 27 rounds. How many games did each team play? 24 each, 17 games. If my math is on point, it's around 450 games, and we end it with Knights.
Of course,
what a beautiful way to end the year.
Of course we do.
And not only is there comedy coming out of the Knights side, but there's comedy coming out of the Eels side as well. For those loyal to the pod, you know what I'm about to say. Shout out to Seabass and Joel Coddington, the ambassadors of Parramatta. The coach of the year, Jason Riles, has made one change to the Eels team that went and put a dagger into the top 4 hopes of the Warriors, which sees Dylan Brown, the grand finalist himself, return to the 5'8 position to play with his boy Mitch Moses one last time before he conveniently leaves to go to also play 5'8 for Knights next year. And the only change for Parramatta. In his final game at the helm, thank you for your service, Adam O'Brien. Your 1 minute memorial will be given come the review. Adam O'Brien has not changed anything.
Well,
and has named the same 17 morons that went to Sharks, led 10-0 and didn't cover plus 18.5. A spread of 13.5 and it's climbing by the hour. By the end of this podcast, it might be 17 because Knights are that awful. At Wankbest Stadium, Chris, what are you thinking, mate? Can you get into the bed with Knights one more time to end the year?
Of course. Look, Para's going to win this game by exactly 8, most likely. As long as they win, I don't think they give a fuck. End the year with a bang and give Dylan Brown his last taste of victory before he heads over to Knights with Blake Green. I would have thought a player like that might ask for an immediate return back, but
Backflip.
he's not going to do that. He's loyal to the Knights, which I wish he wasn't.
Doesn't get you far in the sport.
Yeah,
Being
it
loyal
doesn't.
to these morons.
But it is what it is. Look, Knights, they have to show something.
They don't.
Look,
The more
Para have been great to me, and they've honestly had a great end to the year, but the only other time they were laying almost 10 points, and we came on and said they're going to fucking destroy South, they couldn't score. And do Knights have that sort of resilience?
Fuck
no. But do Knights have the ability to throw the footy around for Adam O'Brien?
No.
Yes.
They don't.
Last week, I was baited into this by the fucking bookies giving 20 points on Knights. But I truly, from last week, said to this guy, and he can attest to it, they're going to cover this week against Para. And if not, possibly provide the greatest entertainment of all and win on Sunday. But I just don't think they can win with this lineup. And Dylan Brown playing doesn't want me to tip them anyway. So I'm going to take Para, but not with the points. I'm taking the Knights. 14, 15, 12, 10. I think they lose this game by exactly 8 or 6. Para win this. Win for Dylan Brown. Send him off with a fucking win. The grand final half pairing finally splits apart, and Dylan Brown hasn't been there for a while, so let's see how good their chemistry is. He's just going to fucking run the ball 50 times, and Knights are not going to be there. So that's what's going to happen, but I'll take the Knights plus whatever, 14.
We'll speak more on the Dylan Brown era come the season review, because that will be more appropriate time to discuss that. As far as this specific game goes, does it make a difference that he's playing 5'8"? I would say because it's the final game of the season, yes, you might get the best out of him, he has had an awful season, but he's not an awful player. I think people forget how talented Dillbags actually is when he's playing his best footy, but he's just been mentally checked out for so long.
And Arthur's there.
Now, looking on the other side and seeing Arthur, then, I would also run the ball and go and score, so fair play. On the Knights side, you said that they can throw the footy around for Adam O'Brien. This team is so fucking bad that...
I know they are.
You know what? If they played tomorrow, I would put Titans 5.5 to them. The more I think about it, Titans, they went on a rampage of losing by 2 every week. These motherfuckers since... And you know what? Once a year, Knights lose by 5. Have you realised that? The morons that they are. This is their... Fucking... Wow, that's so bad.
They're awful.
This is their... How many points they've conceded around since giving up to Halasima. 44 to Raiders.
Yeah.
48 to Penrith, who you were quoted saying they can't score.
Yeah.
38 to a Cowboys side that made 23 errors. 46 to Brisbane, who can't even score. And 40 points to Sharks, who tried for 5 minutes. On the other side of the ball, this high-powered offense ran by Adam O'Brien have put up 18 to Raiders, which included a Fletcher Hunt pick 6. 12 points to Penrith, which they didn't score until it started conveniently raining. I'm convinced that would have been 0. 4 points to Cowboys, who have conceded 700 points in this season.
That's awful.
Who also had a sin bin, where they managed to not score during the sin bin period. 12 points to a Broncos team that go out there and give up every round and just outscore the opposition. And 16 points to Sharks.
Okay, I'll rebut you. If Titans win, does Knights become more elusive?
No.
You think they'll literally check out?
Because this is the fascinating thing about Knights. I haven't actually visually seen them give up any of these weeks.
They tried every week.
Against Raiders, they tried. Against Penrith, they tried. Against Cowboys, they actually tried. Like when Cowboys were sin bin and they were attacking on the goal, they were trying to score. They just couldn't. Brisbane was the one where they just alright, fuck this sport. Against Sharks, they came out possessed. I thought Nathan Cleary was playing halfback for them. And then how the fuck did you guys manage to not cover, scoring in the 79th minute?
It's Knights.
It's Knights. So now I look at it, and on face value, we have a 12.5 point
Is their
spread.
point difference fucked as well? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Minus 250, which is way below anyone.
Jesus, yeah, right.
They're 100 points worse than Cowboys, who we equate to poo. Literal poo. And now they're running out in this situation where they're getting 12 points in the final game of the season.
To a 13th.
Am I excited to go out there and lay double digits with Para again?
Fuck though.
Not really, but
It's Knights.
at this point, double digits with Knights, like, these motherfuckers need triple digits. That's how fucking shit they are. So, in my opinion, 4 p.m. Bank West. Okay, especially if Tigers win, I might lay 900. Because then, like, they've given up.
They have nothing to play for, that's true.
If the round's gone well, up until this point, and Tigers win, I will take Knights for you. Because of how many times you've taken Knights for me this year for no reason.
Why? I want you to take Para in that scenario.
Why?
Because, like, I want someone to get annihilated on Sunday. Like, 200-0 for no reason.
Well, hopefully it will be fucking...
Well, I get to take Dylan Brown one last time. Anytime.
I will send it back yourself premium best bet out. Dylan Brown anytime for you.
No, Dylan Brown...
As the free play.
Dylan Brown into someone. Into Fletchard.
Dylan Brown into Knights until lose to 0.
Dylan Brown into Jake Arthur. Opposites are aligned.
Okay, genuinely, do you think 13.5 is the right spread or the wrong spread?
No, it's right, but because Para's good and Knights are shit. But I think Knights, like, look, they're going to show heart at least once.
They've showed heart 5 times in a row.
No,
I'm telling you, this is them showing heart.
come on, Knights, come on.
I can't even look at Knights. They're so fucking bad.
One game, boys. Just fucking hold on.
Like, I don't think emotionally, but there are times where I'm like, why did I have that
Urge.
sinking feeling in my body where Knights scored in the 79th minute and Leonardo threw the cutout and I like knew they're going to concede.
Yeah, that's Knights.
That's Knights.
Yeah, I know, but
So I'm like, do I want to take these
this
pricks
time,
again?
Knights are just going to lead the whole way and then fuck it up at the end. They literally try for 60 minutes and then get tired.
I can't even look at Knights, so fuck them. I'll probably just take overs or something because who's the fuck's going to defend in this game?
Knights.
Anyway, that concludes your round 27 preview. It has been a longer one. I hope you guys appreciate the insight, the information, the intel, and you play this round in the right way as a punter. We can't go out there and play, but we have to take this game by game because, I mentioned, a lot of these matches intertwine with each other, and the one thing that is guaranteed apparently is dogs trying for no reason, which, again, I really am curious, will we get pushed back on this or will cunts be like, nah, we should try. We'll see.
Why?
Heading into the round, Chris, what are the 3 things that you're most looking forward to, my friend?
Pinnacle, above all things, is South.
Souths of War.
Because I don't think I'll have a better weekend than watch South win, to be honest.
I think you can lose every best bet. And if Souths win, you don't give a fuck.
I don't care. Oh, and Dolphins, obviously. They have to win. Otherwise, that's fucking...
Yeah.
Actually, no. Like we said,
it doesn't matter.
If Dolphins lose, but Roosters have lost this game, it doesn't matter because that's just because Dolphins are retarded, not because you cuts are any good. Obviously, South is above all. Then, obviously, what Ciraldo does with this team, has he cooked, and all of a sudden the offense is going to work against. They haven't been great, and they've played a lot of bums the last couple of weeks, but hypothetically, a good defensive team in Cronulla. And finally, on Sunday, I want someone to fucking play for Adam O'Brien. One of these Knights players. Because, look, we've called... I don't think a lot of people have been as badly spoken about Adam O'Brien other than us. We like him, but he's a fucking shit coach. They've often said he's okay, he's built, they've got to finals, and they're not wrong. They have got to finals. They were playing for him. When they won 10 in a row, they were playing for him. This team went finals last year.
And almost won.
And almost won the game against Cowboys. So they're not a bad... When they play for him, they play for him. So in my heart, I hope they play for Adam O'Brien. Doesn't deserve to go out like this. It doesn't matter if you win. Because we know Titans are the problem, not you. And I don't think anyone's going to fucking attest that. Or Des is a shit coach. You cunts fucking don't deserve to be on this podcast and need to fuck off. Because Des is not the problem. The whole fucking franchise is the problem. And he doesn't deserve what he's gone through at Titans. But Knights, I don't know. Adam O'Brien hasn't done enough to be there, of course, this year. But in previous years, he's got this fucking shit cunt team to the finals twice. So, fair enough to him. And
4 times, I think.
4 times. Fucking hell. He's going to do... in my opinion, it's better than Blake Green. So, I'd backflip him if I was fucking Dillbags. But We'll see. But it doesn't matter. All of that cascades lower because South lead the pack by margin because Friday is going to be the pinnacle of salt.
I can't live up to your top three because that was very, very, very well said from you, mate. But from my end,
Someone's going to die come Thursday.
Broncos, it's been fun. I have enjoyed it. The All Blacks jersey, I have been told, looks quite good on me and fits me like it was tailor-made for me. Reece Walsh, you're a pleasure to watch despite what many say. I don't know why you're drinking toilet water, you fucking imbecile. But that's alright, that actually did make me laugh. But there's a death row coming to you. There's death row coming to you guys on Thursday, and genuinely you shouldn't even fucking show up and trick yourselves into thinking this top four. Nah, bro, it's not happening. Titans, one last hurrah, boy. The fact that you pricks can get away with not coming last after being the most disgusting side I've ever looked at just really is testament to Knights and what they've done this year. But it will actually make me roll on the floor and laugh if these cunts beat Tigers for me for no reason, knowing that they're the literal human waste of the sport.
Agreed. The Dogs.
And finally, I can't believe my eyes with this coach, Ciraldo. From day one, I famously titled you as the inbred coach of the NRL when I conceded 750 in your first season. You've turned the fucking club around. You're a powerhouse in the NRL. This is 2 years in a row that gone from good to great. You've lost a bit of steam to end the year, but that doesn't diminish what you have accomplished this round. But truly, I believe this is one of the dumbest decisions in the history of the sport for you cunts. Again, to risk injury to Crichton, Kickow, Burden, Galvin,
Tracy, who just came off injury.
After literally watching Carraz in the meaningless 76th minute of the fucking you cunts playing Penrith go down, and you still made the decision to run out everyone. I cannot believe my eyes.
Dumbest thing I've
because of that, truly, I actually want Sharks to go and annihilate them full strength. So they can go back, tired, wasted, in the sheds, battered and bruised after tackling Fanua Blake for 70 minutes and be like,
we have to go to Melbourne.
We're going to be in Melbourne in 6 days to take these cunts on. Fuck me. Because truly, that's what you guys deserve for this decision. It's diabolical.
There was a reason why, and I didn't have a dream. I forgot to add this in the Broncos section. I actually had a fond thought that we could get Brisbane and Dolphins in a finals game, 4 p.m. in the afternoon elimination in Suncorp.
The first ever 50-48 scoreline in the final.
But Dogs, I think you cunts literally have a podcast on your own. I
can't believe it.
I don't think until I actually still can't believe, even though team sheet's there, I'll have to watch them play and be like, they're there.
Same. That's nuts. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the podcast as always, as much as we enjoyed speaking to you guys one last time, previewing as many games as there are this weekend. 8 games of footy. We'll turn into 4, 2, 2, and then the big one. But we'll be here to break down everything. Appreciate the love and support. Give us a like, give us a comment, share it to your mates. And we'll catch you guys 5 days from now.
Peace.
To see if Adam O'Brien got one more win as the Newcastle fucking head coach. Peace out, guys.
Peace.